Welcome, everybody, to another installment of Balls Deep, where we get balls.
Whoa. What's this?
It's red wine, Brian.
No.
What are you talking about?
No. Stop.
Welcome, everybody, to another installment of Balls Deep, where we get balls deep into the movie that we just watched. As always, I'm Peter, and this is...
I'm Brian.
His name is I'm Brian.
We
have had... My name Peter. We have had one hell of an adventure today, folks. Let me tell you, we are always idiots, and we always have a great time being idiots, especially myself. But today we went and saw the movie Poltergeist. This is somebody's failed dream at trying to reboot a decent horror movie.
A classic.
Well, the original
I would
Poltergeist,
call Poltergeist a classic.
is a classic. I loved it. I thought it was a terrifying movie. Of course, it came out when I was a little kid, so I was never little. But anyway, great movie. The sequels, not so much.
Yep.
But this movie, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, where to begin with this?
Let's just start by saying this was a cookie cutter, by the book,
Yes.
routine, run-of-the-mill horror movie. I mean...
a haunted house, family terrorized by a malevolent entity.
And you have the cliche teenager.
Cliche teenager who's kind of a bitch. You got the family that's fallen on some hard times.
Yeah, the family is fallen on hard times. You have a stay-at-home mother. You have the dad who can't get a job.
You have the two kids.
Three kids.
Well, three kids, but the two younger ones, both of whom are a little off.
Yeah, you have the middle child who, in this case, is very scared of everything, but at some point in the movie, he's gonna have a life-changing
He's gonna redeem himself. He's gonna have that character arc.
Yep, that character arc is gonna arc. And you have the innocent child, the innocence of the horror movie,
whom the malevolent entity
is after.
chooses to feed on. Yeah, you have the paranormal investigators, and they're all kind of like nerdy. And goofy, and kind of clumsy.
I did, however, love the typical, stereotypical teenage daughter. More focused on her cell phone, her technology. This isn't a luxury, Dad. This is a necessity.
But, I mean, yeah, let's just run through some of the moments where I just kind of sighed and was like, oh, yes, we have this scene. We have the girl who's talking to the presence or something that doesn't seem to be there, that only she can see, that one of the other characters kind of overhears and is like, who is she talking to? We have that cliche that we've seen. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
With that, oh, hey, he's my new friend. Like, how many movies have we seen this in?
Well, I mean, give the original some credit here. That was, I think, one of the first movies, if not the first movie, where, like, you had a child innocence, talking to some random strange thing, entity, whatever. I don't know. I'd have to do some research, and I don't really care.
Yeah, but then we have the ball rolling down the hallway.
Oh, yeah. The only thing that this movie was missing was a handheld shaky cam shots to make me feel like it was Paranormal Activity. It was, or Blair Witch Project, or Cloverfield, or how many dozen other movies are out there.
It's just it's cookie cutter.
Oh, like I said, it
doesn't try to do anything different. And of course, because this is a remake, you have to compare it to the original. Now, one of the things that made the original so great for me is it kind of had this sense of humor about itself. It was kind of like a comedy at the same time it was a horror movie. Like, you remember the first night that they're there and the parents are like rolling joints in the bed together and smoking
I forgot
them.
about that.
Now, of course, in this, it's instead they have their own stash of like liquor that they're drinking. But I mean, really, like the parents smoking pot on their bed after the kids have gone to sleep is just so damn funny. There's this trend in horror movies, particularly American horror movies, where every time there is a scare, you need a giant music cue to accompany the scare. In case the visual wasn't enough, it needs to slam you with that sudden loud noise to get that cheap initial jolt,
visual and auditory
out
shock.
of you.
It's so bad.
So many movies have done it. Like newer movies, The Woman in Black was another horrible culprit of doing that. So many shots that could have just been creepy if they just been silent. But they instead decided to add this stupid ass music cue to it that completely brings you out of the movie and reminds you you're watching a movie that's trying to scare you rather than actually just being
having a
frightened
movie
by
actually
something.
scare you.
One of the things that Japanese and Korean horror movies do so much better than American horror movies. Well, what we loved about this movie, really one saving grace.
And it didn't save the movie.
It doesn't save the movie, but it's the little
thing.
beacon inside all of the darkness. And that is, of course, Mr. Sam Rockwell.
Thank you, sir.
One of our favorite actors, I know. I mean, Moon, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, Galaxy Quest.
Oh God, oh God, the movie Galaxy Quest was awesome, but Rockwell,
steals. He was like unknown at the time too,
every
and he
scene
steals every
he
scene.
Stole it. Excuse me.
But he's fantastic.
Don't open that door. You don't know what's out there.
Air?
Is there air?
But I mean, he is fantastic in this movie. He's great. Like, we were discussing it when we got out. He's funny. He's emotional. He's kind of the goofy dad, but also like the serious dad when he needs to be, and it all fits together. It never feels like he's doing anything that's out of character for him. And he's a very well-rounded father figure.
And Rockwell, when you had that scene where you were just trying to keep your emotions in, that was so, like, kudos, man. That is not an easy feat to do, and you nailed that on the head, man. I mean, I wish that you could have done that in a better movie.
Especially considering, it's just going to be a goofy horror movie.
Yeah.
And to bring that level.
Yeah.
To be like, you know what, I'm in this, I'm going to give it 110%.
With the overall movie, I really didn't like the fact that, I mean, there's so much potential with this movie to take it up to the next notch, make it even better than the first one kind of deal. But they just ran. I mean, from the opening gates, they just did not stop running, and that annoyed the shit out of me. Like, the typical, new family coming into this suburban neighborhood, and not even 5 minutes in, not even 5 minutes into the movie. I mean, less than 30 seconds after they walked into the home, shit's already starting to happen. And, the first night, it wasn't, that's one thing I liked about Paranormal Activity, is that they didn't, nothing happened right off the bat.
Oh, yeah, it's subtle. It's just that little, the keys get the keys get thrown off the table, and that's it.
The keys fall off the counter. You get this whole period of time where it's like, it's very melodramatic, and then there's nothing for a long time, and then all of a sudden it starts to get intense, and it gets more and more and more, and you might have 1 or 2 nights where there's nothing, and then it gets more and more and more. That's what they should have done with this. They should have taken the time to develop the characters a little more, have us understand, have us give a fuck about the child. I didn't care when I thought the little girl was cute. I thought she was, she was funny
to watch.
Adorable. She's absolutely adorable. It just nonstop just did not. I mean, there's no development of the characters other than the standard, little bits that you get. But I didn't give a flying rat's ass about anybody. Actually, I did like that about like all the women in this movie were not drop dead gorgeous. They weren't stunning. I mean, she was attractive. So it's not like Elizabeth Olsen where she is just smoking hot, drop dead gorgeous. With Rockwell as the the husband and wife combo. It's an actual woman that you would believe would be this man's wife and this mother to these children. You actually believe it. I did like that. I did like that about the movie.
I mean, like you said, it's just there was so much missed potential. Because I was hoping, because Sam Rockwell he has that kind of comedic, sarcastic. So I was hoping that this movie was kind of going to try to blend more of comedy and horror together, like the original did. Like when they bring in the spirit person, and it's that weird old lady who's like. It's such a over-the-top character. She's like, oh, man. I mean, you can't help but laugh at it. It's like
so funny.
It's like the movie's aware of just how over-the-top the character is and runs with it. And I was hoping that I was going to see more of that type of humor in this. Like that dumbass scene where the kid's in the closet and he drills the hole in, and the cord gets sucked through, and he puts his fucking arm in. And this is where I was kind of getting at, where we could have had the comedic side. Because obviously, he gets, like, I thought it would be funny if, he puts his arm in, and you're obviously expecting, okay, something's going to grab his arm from the other side, but to instead have something appear on his side of the wall that grabs him. So it's like the audience is expecting this, but they instead get that shock instead of there's something on the other side with him. Something that's kind of like, so you feel like the movie's kind of toying with you, like it's kind of... It understands the cliches, and it's purposely trying to fuck with you,
trick you. Yeah, that would have been great.
Because you'd get a scare, and you'd also kind of get a chuckle, because whoa, I didn't see that coming. But again, just missed opportunities like that, where it's it could have done something different, but it was either too lazy, or just didn't have the confidence at all.
Didn't give a rat's ass.
We have the new big scene, which is we actually go into purgatory.
Yes.
Into the closet. I mean, it's cool though, seeing all the corpses that are just making up the walls and hallways.
It was pretty creepy because I mean they're seeing this on their tablet, all these corpses and things, and just the walls, and it's in the house. It is the house. And it's just so nasty and creepy. And so they're looking at the screen, and what the screen is showing them is the walls are moving and gestating, or not gestating. That's not the right word. The walls are moving writhing with the corpses moving around and reaching out for things, because they're lost. They're stuck in purgatory, and they look up and they see that that's not here, but that's here. It's that kind of fucked with my head a little bit. I'm like, that's so creepy. This is going on right now. I can't see
just
it.
Just another dimension that's just right next to us. No, well, it was cool. I wonder if this was maybe a case of showing when they should have been telling. Because one of the things about Poltergeist is you never saw Purgatory. You never saw what the little girl was trapped in.
Yeah.
So there was kind of always that kind of creepy mystery where it's oh my god, what is it like where that poor little girl is in right now. And I mean, they do a good job. Like they do a good job of making it a cool place. But I kind of almost wonder if I prefer this to if they had just kept it like the original, more just kind of left it up to you to imagine what this purgatory looks like that this little girl is trapped in.
I could have gone either way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that they went in a new direction with showing purgatory and showing how creepy it was. But I could have run with it if they just had done what the original did and just not show the darkness and whatnot. But I am happy that they didn't go the Insidious route with basically a shadowy studio floor with a fog machine. God. Thank you for making Chapter 3, by the way, you assholes.
One other thing that kind of bothered me, and again, I have to compare it to the original because it's a remake, it was having the kid go in to rescue the girl and not the mother.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, that was a powerful moment for me in the original. It was like the mother being like, no, this is my daughter. Like, she's not gonna, like, walk up to a stranger who goes in there. Like, it has to be me. I'm doing this. Like, that powerful, like, mother bear, like, going in to get her cub type thing. Because, they were trying to build it up with, like, the little kid, and he's afraid of everything. He's going to conquer his fear. But it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, just overall, the movie was...
It's way too cookie cutter. It doesn't introduce anything new, interesting.
Not at all.
Or anything really noteworthy. No scene that really you're talking about afterwards. Like, oh, remember that scene where...
Yeah, no one scene outdid another scene. No one scene stole the whole show. I mean, except for Rockwell's, like...
Yeah, his performance.
His emotional performance near the end. That was probably the only great scene. So, I mean, overall, Brian, what would you rate this movie?
Out of 10?
Out of 10. 0, because 0 is a number.
I'd give it maybe a 3. Maybe a 4. Maybe.
I'll give it a 3.5, and the 3.5 is solely sitting on Rockwell's shoulders. Actually, I'll give it a 4. The 3.5 is sitting on Rockwell's shoulders. The half is sitting on Purgatory. Because, I mean, honestly, I liked it. I did. Mm-hmm. I liked the fact that they showed it. I mean, they took a step out there into the unknown, and they showed Purgatory, and it was kind of cool.
So overall, yep, not great.
Nope.
A couple saving features, nothing.
One or two. Cookie cutter, by the numbers. So yeah, that's it. So hopefully next week we'll be watching something a little cooler, which is going to be probably San Andreas. Either that or Tomorrowland. Oh yeah, we still got that also. Maybe we'll have 2 videos coming out over the next week or 2. Hopefully we'll have something positive to say about the next couple of movies. Yes. So, until next time, my friends, keep her sleazy.